Hey guys, you see me do an awful lot of videos, or I've done an awful lot of videos that you can look at YouTube and such. Uh, and as you know, I've been doing this, teach and go professionally, a long time. The main thing I do is teach a thinking process. I've found it very difficult to get this across. That's not saying it right. People don't want a thinking process. They want to be able to put a move down in the right spot. They want to know what move they're supposed to play. What's the best move here? These kinds of things. And I don't even see that those questions have never been remotely interesting to me. To me, the important question is, given any board position, how do I think about it? How do I think about it well enough so that I can get a solid 85% value out of my move? All I've ever been interested in. But that's hard for people. I mean, again, I've been doing this a long time. And so how many times have I asked the student, okay, walk me through this move. What's the thinking process? They don't have a clue. I mean, they can't even say, as you know the list, am I okay? Is he okay? And what's big? They get so involved in other things, like what they're supposed to be doing. So I just put a couple little situations on the board just to explain something, a few things. When I start a new student, we always start with just simple, am I okay? What does it mean to be okay? How do we find out if you're okay? And to go through the process. The process on we'll call it a kindergarten level, simple, easy level, always starts with defense first. Because 90% of the time, that's how things go on the go board. Defend yourself first, attack second. And if there's nothing else to do, go take a big move somewhere. But sometimes it's not that way. So let's look at this board and talk about how hierarchy of bigness. Okay, upper left, the A group. How's black? Weak. As a matter of fact, next move, he's dead. Well, isn't there something more important to that? Well, that's a pretty small group that has literally zero effect on the rest of the board. And it's double gote. So double gote is the smallest, we know this, the smallest kind of points you can imagine. And not only that, but it doesn't mean anything. So if let's remove C16 and put a black cut there. Okay, so now the A group does mean something. It means black's not only alive, but black owns the left, or black's dead, and we don't have a full board, but it could mean a lot on the left for white. So here it is, quadrupled in size. But if we take that away and make that a white stone, then it's only the corner. The importance of it has lowered, along with not many points, along with double gote. So there's all these characteristics that change how big it is. Bottom left. Oh, that's a lot bigger. Still, it doesn't affect the board. Second, it's co. So doesn't affect the board and takes white a whole move or black 2 moves. We'll just look at the code just for fun since we're here. Boom. That's only one eye. Well, Atari, yeah. Ko. There's a lot of ways to play the Ko here. Just for fun, we'll do the other way too. All right. Now there's some smaller issues like, well, in which Ko, who has to take first? Who has to play the first Ko thread? Those are all important things, and all I'm saying is you have to get a sense of how big the thing is. And again, if it affects the whole board, that makes it real big. If it affects nothing, that makes it smaller. There was I told this story in a video before, but I'm watching it was 4 or 5 pros analyzing a game. So 4 pro was there, Korean 8-dan pro was there, 9-dan pro woman there. I mean, it was a pretty strong table analyzing, and one amateur who we're going, let's just say 30 years, if not 40, a long time ago. There was an amateur 8-dan, which is like the only one in the world, like it was rare back then. And they're trying to figure out the move. And finally, the amateur steps in and says, well, just play here. The group dies. And it was 40 points. And in unison, like they had planned it, which they obviously didn't, all these professional heads turn at once, saying, that's too small. It's like 40 points, yeah, but it doesn't affect the board. It doesn't do anything. It's 40 points, gote. Not big enough. I just got such a kick out of that. Okay, so upper left, small and simple life and death. Bottom right, bigger. Ko takes 2 moves to kill it. Next, we've got 1 stone. How big is 1 stone? 2 points? Yes, but the 1 stone represents a very big thing. A single stone can represent lots of things. In this case, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 25-ish points, depending. So it could be a stone, it could be a group, it could be a gote move. Oh, that one move gave me 100 points. That's might be the biggest thing on the board, even though it's in gote, even though it's in double gote. The smallest points in the world. Yeah, but it's 150. That makes it pretty big. So get used to the character of size. Okay, next. Next, how do we get rid of all these stones? Does pass do it? No. Okay, I'll bring up a new board. Because I want to, this is all about the thought process, which I consider, as I mentioned, extremely valuable. I know it's valuable. But people want the easy route. They don't want to figure it out for themselves. I'm overstating that. Okay, I'm getting rid of that board. No, yeah, sure, save it. Stop presenting. Okay, now you see my pretty face. Just cancel that, get out of here. No. Now I'm going to go into AGS, going over to the active games list, and I see, well, there you go, 3-dan and the 3Q. Where'd you go? You were right there. Well, now it's a 1-dan and a 2-dan. Okay, share the screen. And There we are. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're trying to get a handle on the thought process and how we find moves with it. Now, my experience, I've never been one, oh, that guy really knows how to play Go. No, I've, I mean, sure, compared to others, perhaps, but that's never been my thing. My thing is sit down in a tournament, open section, sitting across from an 8-done. Step one, deal with the emotions. I mean, because to me, that's a very emotional experience. My heart's beating hard, trying to think clearly. And after, breathe, all this kind of stuff, stay calm. What do? Well, go play a good move. I don't know how to play a good move at this level. What do? What I would ask myself, what I would tell myself, I'm at the board, what's the simplest thing I can see on this board? So I'd go around, I'd look at all my groups. As a matter of fact, I would identify my groups. This looks like it's going to be a terrible game to look at, but we're going to do it anyway. Clone in the English room, get rid of the original, and we were about here. Okay, so the first thing I would do was I would identify my groups. Now, this is not something I teach, but it's true because some groups, the A group, no, you're cut there. Not that he can cut necessarily, but it's actually two groups because they can be separated. Okay, so if you identify them, is that one or two groups? So that's step one in identifying all your groups. So identify the groups. Are any of them weak? Are any of them under? What can he get from my weakness? From there, I go, okay, is he weak? Just the simplest, identify his groups, step by step. And then compare, okay, here's some big size, and yet here he's weak, I can get something for free. Well, getting something for free is bigger than getting something bigger at the cost of a whole move. Working it out step by step, and I could play at a very high level without knowing what I was doing. I don't know where to play, but I can figure out some stuff. And again, it puts you at 85% minimum. And then, for instance, here, move one, 100%. Sure. Oh, can't you see that? Why can't you see what I'm seeing here? That's bad. Oh, that's because, just a second. I have to stop presenting because I cloned the board and you're looking at the old board. Here's the correct board. Okay. So move one, 100% value. That's even greater than 85. Well, sure. There's going to be lots of moves, 100%, 100%, 95%. Oh, this one's down to 85. Well, it was a hard situation. Think it through. Now, again, this whole video is me actually kind of in a frustrated state. I have these students that, man, they're just, I love people. I think they're wonderful. I have this certain student in mind. He's kind of a new student. Great guy, great wife, loves his wife, values correct things. He's just a great guy. How do I get him to understand Go? It's a passion of mine. I'm rambling, and it's just because this video is just a release of me going, there's a way you can find good moves. Okay. So, white to play. Now I've never seen this position before, right? Completely unknown position. So, I'm white. I have to think, okay, where should I go? I honestly don't have a clue. I can't tell you how clueless I am. So I start working it through. Right away, I notice my A stone is, I'll use the word surrounded. Pretty darn loose, but surrounded. So I have to ask, if I do nothing, Am I going to be okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. Okay. What if he does something severely? Yeah, I'm going to be fine. Give me a break. Yeah. Healthy group, not a problem. Okay, so I don't see any way. I've got lots and lots of room to the left, above me, in the center. I'm not weak. Okay, step two, the move he's going to play against me, is it particularly big? No, he's not defending himself. It's 4 lines wide. That's not very impressive. I Sure, there's value there, but there's value in all places. So I'm seeing this now. It's for free, granted, but I don't really. It's not even his yet, so I don't see it as impressive. So my plan would be to not defend, and I'm going to go play a big move. Okay. Step two: in walks professional nine done, and he says, "Who's this clown that says he should play away? What is he, an idiot? Of course you need to respond." Then I say, "Sorry, I didn't know. Could you please explain that to me?" And then the cute thing happens. This, you hear this all the time, or we used to. I don't know about it anymore. "Oh, that was a terrible move. You needed to respond. That's only a 98% move. It's a clear loss because of that. I mean, you just lost 2 points." And I'm like, "Oh, I thought you said it was a mistake." "It is a mistake." "No, I thought you said it was a mistake." I mean, that's not a mistake. At an amateur level, that's nothing. Now, looking at this in our little discussion, I go, well, that's a little more impressive, right? But still, that's not his, and it's center. So I would tell the professional, as I've done countless times, "I'm afraid I don't understand. That doesn't look very big. It's not even black yet." "Well, yeah, but blah, blah, blah." I'm sorry, I still don't understand. Could you put it in words a child could understand? Because I'm not getting it. And I got to tell you, that's word for word what I've done with many professionals. And I got to tell you, I'm one of those rare people that frustrate professionals because I'm a slow learner. And unless you put it in childish terms, I'm not going to understand it. Some of you have heard me and Chris, my 9 down friend. He'll go blah, 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 blah. And I go, whoa, stop the horses. I don't understand any part of that. Could you go back to the first thing you said? And I break it down. "Oh, you mean this?" And then I put it in simple terms. "Yeah, obviously." "Well, obvious to you, not to me." Okay, so back here, white to play. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to play away. Where? Well, it's an unusual situation. I better make sure, is this somehow giving black too much? Well, I don't see it. I don't see any, I can't even tell you what he's sketching out. It's so undeveloped. Okay, so I'm not concerned about that. That leaves me with 2 corners left, the A and B. Notice if I play here, I'm not doing a lot on the right side of this white stone. Black's already there. I can't do anything there. Above me, yeah, I can do plenty there. So half the stone can do a lot, half the stone can't do much. Over here, I can do a lot on both sides. Okay, so this is a bigger move for me. How about for black? Does this represent something special? No. As a matter of fact, he's playing something that's 5 lines wide. That's not particularly large. Then I would do a Tawari. I would change the order of the moves. I take off that bottom black stone, black to play, K3, really? Why? Why aren't you playing in the corner? Why are you playing on the side? That's a mistake on your part. Ah, so he can't make this stone good. It's a bad play. Therefore, I don't mind him playing in the bottom left. My move is in the B corner. So I break it down step by step. Now, the most fundamental thing I do, well, that's a completely wrong way to say it. My personal method for deciding moves is I pass. I find in my head, if I pass, I get huge amounts of information. Okay, I pass, click pass. What kind of trouble am I in? None. Ah, that's good information. Okay, again, I pass. Oh, is he getting something massive? I don't see it. He's doing something, but wherever you go, you do something. Ordinary. Oh, so when I pass, I'm like, what's going on? And then maybe if I change things a little bit, then I imagine, well, what if he doesn't respond? Well, right away, I'm going to make a long night's move enclosure because it hurts him so bad. I'm not going to play a short one because then he can live easily. So a long one. So that means a lot. His A stone is weak. How's that weak stone going to invade area B or area C? He can't unless he wants to die. It's too much work to be done for black. So black has to defend, and then I go get what I want. So I pass for me, I pass for him, like what's available. Okay, that may have meant nothing. Let's go a little further in this game. White plays away, in my opinion, the slower side. Uh-huh. Yeah, there you go. Black stones all around. What shall we do? Oh, let's play ordinary. Really? Well, what if he starts a fight? He is so prepared to fight here. I I won't let him fight. Oh, but it probably doesn't work. I don't know if it works or doesn't work. That's too much reading for me. Instead, I think black is prepared to fight. I'm not prepared to fight, so don't offer him a weakness. How about instead here? Oh, but that's so small. I, size is the character, not the width. So here, I will not be attacked in any significant way at all. All his preparation, worth nothing. I'm alive. Nothing he can do about it. White's move, black's like, yeah, I can fight. I'm not about to take a silly little right side area giving you a huge corner. Of course not. Whether this works or doesn't work, fighting is the only option. Boom, 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 go there, live over there. Oh, yeah. Now, black got the corner. White has nothing. All the ladders work for black. White's not even alive yet. And now white has two weak groups inside. Okay. Black is one done. This one done is, well, let's put it the other way. White is two done. The two dons being torn apart. Just now, this may well end up. White is such a great fighter that it comes out smelling like a rose. Could be, but who's better here? Black is no question. White has two weak groups. Black has no weak groups. There's no question about it. So let's do this using my method. Okay, white to play. Man, I already don't like what's going on here. Black, I'm in trouble. No, please take the stone. I'm alive. And if black doesn't play, I'm going to start this stuff I can do here because he's got some heavy stones. So just live with points. Sounds great. Okay, character. That's what we're looking at. Jump ahead a little bit just since we're here. Boom, boom, boom. Try to live. Get on out. That's fine. Give them up. That's our job. Give them up. Yes. Okay. Let's apply this thought process that I'm feeling passionate about this morning. Passionate that people have a hard time. Okay. So we're white. How's our A group? Well, let's pass. Oh, there's that pass. To me, I do that constantly. Okay. White passes. Yikes. Where did our eyes go? Where did our points go? I hate this. Okay. Then I'm gonna do something. What can I do? And now let's actually go through the list, the kindergarten step-by-step process. And you guys know what it is, am I okay? And as my students know, you're not allowed to ask that question unless you understand the long version of the question, which is how many, because there might be more than one, weak groups or important stones. Earlier in the video, we saw a very important stone, worth 2 points, so to speak, but it represented life and death. So it might be just a stone, but must be an important stone. So how many weak groups or important stones do I have? Now, what do we play in a Go game? About 150 moves apiece, less 125 moves. Try repeating that sentence 125 moves in a row. You can go to an insane asylum. It's just this most boring. Ugh, how many weak groups? So we shorten it to, am I okay? You don't even have to move your lips. Am I okay? It's just a thought. Simple, lovely thought. Am I okay? Let me check out. Am I okay? Same with question 2. How many weak groups or important stones does he have? Or just you take your breath and you go, is he okay? You just look. When it comes to question 3, how many big areas are there? We always have to count because how many weak groups do we usually have? 0 or 1. 95% of the time, 0 or 1 weak groups. So it's like, don't worry about counting unless, just make sure you understand the long version, but you're fine. How many big areas are there? Well, on this board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. There's often 6, 7, 8 big areas. And if you count them, it's another way of identifying them. And a lot of times the student will, well, that one doesn't count. That turns out common to be the biggest one. How can that be biggest? Because you're looking at the width. The width is one of the least important characteristics. The sente, the double sente, the gote, the double gote, what it represents, cuts, fights, that's what makes a move big. Width also, but lesser. Okay. So here, our kindergarten list says our A group is weak. Okay. Now, this is turning into a much longer video than I had anticipated. I was just going to vent. But we're going to look at my list. This isn't a go position. This is the 3 questions. There we are, question 1, 2, and 3. And our hypothetical friend Joe just called us on the phone. Says, hey, Shygost, I'm in the middle of a Go game and I don't know what to do. What should I do? Instead of saying, I have no idea. Instead of that, we say, well, do you have any weak groups? Question 1, am I okay? He says, well, I checked my groups. I seem fine. Okay. Is he okay? Joe checks, says, well, he does kind of have a weak, yeah, he has a weak group. Great. Then you're going to be attacking him. Oh, well, that makes sense. So I'll go do that. No, wait a minute. Back to the top of the list. We're going to go through it again. As you attack him, is there a black group nearby? Not that needs help, because that would have been question 1. Instead, it would enjoy help. Man, I wish I could help my group. I just don't have time. I only have 1 move. I have to put it on something more important. Okay, so as you attack A, is there a black B? Well, actually there is. It doesn't need help, but it would enjoy help quite a bit. Great. We now have a 2-purpose move. So I'll go do that. No. Wait a minute. Second, my alarm went off because I have a student coming. Back to the top of the list. As you attack his A group and help your B group, is there another black group that would enjoy help? There might be. In this case, no. Is there another white entity that you could bother a little bit? Somehow it's like he doesn't like that. Turns out there is. That's a 3-purpose move. Back to the top of the list. Eventually, it's just like, no, there's only, it's a no. That's the 3 questions. Is there this? No. Is there that? No. Is there this? No. Great. Then you have a 3-purpose move, or you have a 2-purpose move, or as in the first move of the game, a 1-purpose move. Now, all that being said, let's try to represent this. There's an A group, there's a B group, and there's a C area. I'm just piecing this together here. Strong players don't ask themselves, am I okay? How many weak groups are important zones? No. Every move along the game, as they breathe, they're aware of their weaknesses. That's what they, oh, look, I'm weak there. That's not so bad. I won't do anything right now. There are 3 things that exist on the Go board: your weakness, his weakness, and big areas. They simply juggle them. Now, on this board, they juggle the 3 and come up with, I'll play something big, right? Because that's all there is. But later on, I could attack. Yeah, I don't think so. There's a big move over there. I think the big moves are more important. Great. Doesn't have to be on the list in the correct hierarchy. But if you want to train your mind to see the board that way, start with, am I okay? Defense first. That's going to help you tremendously. Then you move on out of grammar school up to, high school, college, and you go, well, let me look for myself. Which of these is more important? And then as you're graduating college, you go, hey, this is completely up to me. Here's what I think should happen. Great. As long as your mind is, you see your weaknesses, you see his weaknesses, you see the big areas, you make a judgment. Great. You're doing what the professionals do. Well, not quite. You're doing what the strong amateurs do. They just look and make a decision. Okay, I think that's it. I did an awful lot of rambling and I expressed myself. Um, and if I had my wish, someone would walk away thinking, "Oh, I had no idea. Or I had idea of what's of this thought process, but I haven't been using it." I think that's really valuable. I'm going to start a thought process. So anytime I have a question, I'll go right to the thought process. That's my hope. That's that's specifically what I've been teaching, that thought process for 38 and a half years. Okay, that's my ramble. Catch y'all later. Bye.